Hey Capricorns, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're going to be doing your second half of September general reading here. Before I get into your meditation, just a couple of announcements for you. My Be Your Own Intuitive webinar course is now available for registration. All of that information and how to sign up is in the description box below over on my website. I also now have a newsletter. I'm really loving doing it. So it's going to be a monthly animal energy. I recommend books, current obsessions, tarot decks, all of the good things. Again, how to sign up is over on my website. Okay, let's get into your meditation. Whoa, I want to say time traveler. It was really interesting how, where I was taken in this meditation because I saw a lot of gold, right? I heard the theme song to Happy Days, which is a show from I believe the 50s. And I'll take you there. I was in the 1950s and then I was taken to the 1940s. Then I was taken forward in time. It was really, really interesting. But I feel like the point of it, because I also heard the saying, I just saw 111 on the timer. I also heard in for a penny, in for a pound. There's a level of focus present that I am feeling from you guys. It feels like a happy focus. It also feels like you are working on something, but I technically saw you polishing something. Really refining it, crafting it, tailoring it. I feel like the reason I was taken in the 1950s, and more specifically, I was taken to 1950s America. And when I think about that time period, not that I was around for it, but when I'm taken to that time period, I associate that with, outside of McCarthyism, that was a time where the economy was really booming on the back end of World War II, where there was this sense of, anything's possible and everything is just swell and grand. I mean, and this is from now, albeit I was taken to a very particular perspective. That was not everybody's experience in the 1950s, okay? I'm talking about the advertisements of the 1950s, okay? Particularly the advertisements, not the actual experience on an individualized basis. But there's this, because again, with the Happy Days as well, how that was advertised, how that was seen, with everyone sitting at the diner and having a malted and that sort of throwback feeling to it. And I feel like the point of it is that there's an aspect of you that is being called to return to a part of yourself that is more, how do I put this? That is more simplistic in their approach to their work, their outlook, how they view things. I feel that there has been a certain level of complexity around you. Now, the complexity can be within your own mind, right? Things get complicated. The mind gets a bit cluttered. It can be that your given circumstances are quite complex and you're figuring out details and how to do this and that, right? Moving forward into a new normal. There's details and aspects in that sort of realm. And details is definitely a word that I'm getting for you guys. But it feels like you are deriving a good amount of, I want to say pleasure, but also self-care. It feels like it's really medicinal for you. To allow yourself to enjoy a more simplistic, less complicated energy, whether that's working on something that is important to you or going about, some sort of daily ritual or habit. Because I keep seeing these advertisements where it's 1950s when things were less complicated, and they weren't really, but that's how it was advertised. And because it was advertised in that way, a lot of people bought into that byline and chose to, sort of adopt that viewpoint. There's something to that for you. All right, let's get into it. What is the animal energy? And it's interesting. Oh my God, I can't. It really is interesting, Capricorn, because it feels like there's a lot of layers and complexity and details, but then it's almost as if your advice is let's simplify. Let's eliminate anything that's not in our control, not worry about it, and just focus on, what you do have facility around. So you have the crow, which hello. By the way, the crow has not come up in one of these readings in several hot minutes. So I really love that it's coming up for you. So the crow equates to the high priestess, but of course, it's a really beautiful energy about, it's not just about connecting in with yourself, right? And really allowing yourself to see aspects of yourself or wisdom or guidance or a perspective on your given circumstances that can only really be seen in the stillness and the quiet and the reflective moments. But this is also about with the crow, and why I love the crow so much, is it's a very vocal, boisterous, social energy, right? It's definitely connected with the throat chakra, right? Hello, news at 9, crows are very vocal. And when crow energy shows up, you are in for a time of high synchronicity. Signs coming out of, seemingly nowhere. That's really interesting. Because I kept seeing the, advertisements of the 1950s, like in billboard style, and I saw commercials, right? So it's interesting that the crow is coming up here because that is also a bit of an in-your-face energy. And I'm also getting in, when commercials they come on television and they're louder than the actual program you're watching. Why are the commercials louder than the program? They're to snap you out of, in case you fell asleep during the commercial, they're to draw your attention, right? Wake you up again. Whether you were focusing on something else, it grabs your attention, or you actually fell asleep and it wakes you up. I do feel like the universe is coming forward to say it's about to be a bit of a wake-up call aspect in time, but it does feel innately positive. I do feel like for some of you guys are going to be a wake-up call for someone else. You may feel at certain points during this time that you are the sole voice of reason, or that your voice of reason is just rising above the rest of the, people or influences around you. I mean, yeah, this makes complete sense. Okay. The Emperor. Talk about the sole voice of reason. Listen, the Emperor, this is Aries energy. This is a very, of course, masculine energy. But why I'm loving this for you is because remember when I saw you getting things done and working on things and the details of things and in for a penny, in for a pound, happy days, all of this, that is very much masculine energy, right? Now this, interestingly enough, I associate crow with both masculine and feminine energies, right? Because it's about, being receptive to the guidance that comes in. That's feminine energy. But it's also about being vocal about signs and synchronicities and messages, because the crow is the messenger, which is a masculine energy, right? Because it's output as opposed to input. The Emperor here is very much about what you do being the best use of your time, and also being very strategic around the steps that you take to make something happen. There's no arbitrary movements within the Emperor. That's why he's chilling here, right? I love this deck so much. That's why he's depicted as chilling here, because he understands that the load that the Emperor carries is heavy. He also carries the load for everybody else within his family and communal unit, right? So it's really important for him to take moments on his own, where he's all alone here, right? Sitting with all the fruits. It's so important that he takes his time alone to reset, ground, and connect back in with his own voice, and where he can hear himself think. That is, I just got shivers. That feels really, really important. The ability and the time to be able to hear yourself think. Because he goes into this place, and then I feel like he gets, his clarity back. And then he comes out and like everyone's like, okay, what now? Where can I put this? Where does this go? What can we do? I do feel like people are in need of your advice, your counsel. They're asking your opinion, etc. But this is, this major arcana here too. It's really interesting because technically you have the High Priestess and the Emperor here, two major arcanas. So this is a significant time for you. And I do feel like that is, lovely advice as well, is to really really take those moments when and as you can find them to really sit with your own thoughts. I do feel like there's going to be a lot of stimuli around you. There's also this undercurrent that I'm picking up on of we have to make up for lost time. Making up for lost time, right? Something to that. But I feel like the gold and the ticket, but I feel like you're also able to operate on your own time scale and clock and aspect of, when and how to get things done and move. There's something about this, but I cannot tell you how highly productive this feels. You have the Ace of Wands, which is just, it could not be less surprising. The Ace of Wands, and I also love that the Emperor is holding like a wand here. So wands are about the actions we take. They're also about artistry, passion, desire, right? The Ace of Wands is a huge burst of energy and inspiration, right? This is beautiful. You know, it's interesting too. I love that I saw you guys creating or working on something, and then the Ace of Wands comes up and the Emperor. Whatever it is that you are giving your time to, that feels good, that you look up and 5 hours have passed and you lose time, or something that you look forward to spending time doing, there is gold in that. There is gold in that. And whether that gold means that it actually results in monetary success for you or social success for you or whatever that is, or it's just the gold that comes from raising your vibration by doing something, giving time to something that truly serves your soul and allows you to exist within that vortex energy, right? Because it's always a good thing, whether or not it makes you money or acclaim or whatever have you, right? Time spent well is never wasted. Ooh, I feel like that's kind of the point. Time spent well is never wasted. I just saw 11:01 on the timer. But let's go with it. 111, the number 3, balance, mind, body, spirit. It does feel like a forward energy, and it's really beautiful. So again, this Ace of Wands, also the fact that this is shown with the firefly here, this point of inspiration in the darkness, but there is a message here with the firefly that's also about taking your time and rest. You know, I'm hearing to rest even when you don't feel like you need to, because you might be missing out on points of inspiration or guidance or eureka moments if you don't take the time to receive inspiration or directives going forward as well. So there's something about that. Pace yourself not because you're tired, but because you could be missing out on gold, okay? When we're going, there's not a whole lot of room or energy conducive to receiving guidance or inspiration. It really requires being still or turning our attention to something else to allow that to come in. It's just the way of it, right? Yes. King of Pentacles, I could not be less surprised as my beautiful earth sign that you are showing up in your most pronounced masculine form here, because this is get her done. And I love that I saw you working on something in the gold and the abundance. And then you have, he's disgustingly wealthy. The King of Pentacles is. But there's something here because he's also very generous. And I do feel like people are going to be in need and want of your generosity, but also of your presence. You might be getting a lot more phone calls or people reaching out or people just dropping by unexpectedly from a place of like, hey, can I call you later? Hey, can we take a walk? Hey, can we, whatever have you. This King of Pentacles energy, and I love that it's depicted with the buffalo here. Buffalo is about trusting that you're always going to have exactly what you need when and as you need it. I always say the buffalo never knows where the next watering hole is going to be, but it doesn't worry about it because it just so happens that whenever the buffalo is thirsty, it always finds a watering hole. Why is that? Why is that? Because it's coming from a place of instinct and natural movement. It's not planning everything to a T where it's like, okay, I'm going to stop off here at the 7-Eleven for a big gulp, and then we're going to stop off at this hotel because they have this. No. There is a certain surrendering here, like a fool energy almost. Surrendering to the faith and belief and trust that they're allowing themselves to be led, right? From a higher perspective and energy and channel, right? Which is really beautiful here. And I do keep feeling that. There's a vortex energy all around here, right? Which almost just feels like you're moving from a state of flow. Now, when the crow comes up, and again, this is about synchronicities and signs and symbols and magic. I do feel like things are going to be lining up for you in a way that feels a bit, well, magical. I'm seeing that image of the staircases in Harry Potter where they keep moving. And I do feel like there's this aspect of you or that you're going to be experiencing where it's like, oh my God, things are like falling into place. And something else that came up in your meditation as well was that I saw you guys, something that you either applied for a long time ago or that you had expressed interest in, or even a project that you started a long time ago, but then you stopped. There's something coming back around. There's something coming back around that maybe you either forgot about, lost hope in, lost track of, put to the side. It could even be like a project or an idea that you had that you're like, oh my God, now I know how to finish it. Now I know what to do with it. Remember how I was just talking about the Fool energy? with the buffalo, and then the Fool comes up here. Stop. This is, Capricorn, this is stunning and beautiful, and I'm really excited for you. So the Fool energy, this is a brand fresh new start. This is that leap of faith. This is also trusting in the natural abundance and cycles of things, right? But I'm really getting this strong message around reciprocity, being a benefactor, being generous with your time and your thoughts and your feelings. I feel like people around you are really going to ask that and need that from you. And you are saying, yes, absolutely. Don't forget to do the same for yourself and take your moments when and as you can find them, right? But I feel like someone's going to get funded for something, get a grant, a scholarship, an unexpected donation, an unexpected line of support, something in that. And I do feel like it's a surprise in some way or a happy turn of events. Okay. This reading is just sugar and spice and everything nice. It's just really nice to see. Yeah. So here, you see this lusciousness, how it says fulfillment? This is the 9 of Cups. This is the wish fulfillment key. You just got the wish fulfillment key with the Ace of Wands. Hi. This source of inspiration, whatever it is this you're working on, or if you're not working on anything in particular, it's something or someone that you are truly passionate about, or something for yourself where you're like, oh my God, I'm really loving, like I've discovered, for example, I've discovered painting, and I'm not particularly great at it maybe, but but the time that I spend doing it is having a positive effect on the rest of my life. Because it's clearing the cobwebs from my mind. It's allowing me to click into a side of me that is free from schedules or having to answer the phone or whatever have you, right? It's a beautiful energy here. The 9 of Cups is having also a lot to be grateful for, but having a lot of something, right? It can be even an excess in its shadow energy, right? And especially with the Ace of Wands, I do feel like there's a lot going on for you right now. I'm feeling a little bit of anxiety coming through as I hold these. Just a little bit of anxiety that comes from, I feel like the core of it is, can and will I get this all done? Can I be the light for others? Can I be the source of support? Can I handle all of the balls in my court? Again, I keep hearing it. It's almost as if there's a feeling of wanting or needing to make up for lost time. It feels like there's an external energy around you that is just jutting forward. And I feel like there's an advice for you around really do love yourself enough. And show yourself enough kindness to take your breaks where you can get them, even if you don't feel like you need it in the moment, and trust that that's going to pay off down the road in some way, shape, or form. I also want to point out that all of these elk back here in the water are following the lead of this dude right here. I also want to point out these geese here. I'm telling you, there is and again with the Emperor, it feels like there's a lot going on. It might feel a bit heavy at times, but it's not for, at the end of the day, it's a good thing because you're like, wow, I am loving that, I do have so much to work on, to be grateful for, people in need of me, people wanting my company and all of that good stuff, right? Ooh, wow. I'm kind of obsessed. Okay. So we have the 5 of Cups here to clarify the King of Pentacles. Yeah, I'm going to tell you, it's interesting because this so far seems to be majority, you are showing up in your own reading as the King of Pentacles. And I do feel like the Emperor. Then you have this water energy here, along with this fire energy. So I do feel like this emotional aspect of it is sort of being tempered by the actions that you take. I don't know if these emotions are completely yours. Kind of feels like the people around you, to be quite honest, or a collective feeling of what you are observing and witnessing that is affecting your given circumstances or environment. It feels like you are surrounded by emotions or being affected by them, but they're not necessarily coming from you as much, right? So I feel like that could be a special message about checking in and making sure and taking note that the emotions that you feel are yours or not. Sometimes when we're there for a lot of people and we spend time out in the world and it feels a bit intense, we can start, taking on those feelings, especially for any empaths watching this, right? Feel very affected, and you start feeling sad when you didn't before, overwhelmed when you didn't necessarily before, right? And it's like, oh, are these mine or are these other people? Am I taking on the feelings of my friend, my partner, my mom, my whoever this is? But there is this feeling of loss connected to the King of Pentacles. I do feel like for some of you guys, there are people being removed from your given circumstances as well, or people that it is being highlighted to and for you who is on your team and who is not. Right? And there's this aspect of, if you always trust that you're always going to have what you need when you need it, then you can do the same with your friend group, your family group. There is this aspect here of the slate being cleared so that new people, new opportunities can come in. Right? But there is this feeling of going, not everyone and everything can come along on this journey. But the tea and the sweetness of it is that you're going to feel pretty self-assured in that it is for the highest and best, because this crow energy is afoot, as it were. So I feel like as soon as people or aspects go out, there's newness coming in, or what is already there is going to have more room and time, because you're not spending your time on relationships or aspects of yourself, your given circumstances, that either evoke sadness from you or never really quite worked for you in the first place. I also want to point out this raccoon energy, which does equate to like a Six of Pentacles feeling, which is about reciprocity, give and take. I do feel like there are people, places, things that were not evenly weighted. Maybe you gave more than you received. Those are going to be highlighted for you, because also the King of Pentacles is the benefactor and generous. I do feel like there's an aspect of like, oh my God, I give a lot more than I get back from this person, place, or thing. So I'm going to let that go. Okay? Okay, let's get an oracle. Earth Magic Oracle for my caps here. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's so good. Okay, listen. Island, solitude. Weren't we talking about with the Emperor, with the gorilla, and the Ace of Wands? Okay, darlings. Here it is again. Please take your time, even when you don't feel like you necessarily need it. Remember when I said that the gorilla goes and sits by himself because he carries the weight of the world and his community and his partners and all of this good stuff on his shoulders. So he needs that time to clear his own headspace and give back to himself so that he can get back up and then continue to serve, right? Heavy is the head that wears the crown and all that. Island, solitude. This is really important. Again, I keep hearing it. Like, did you ever get told by your mom or something where it's like, have a snack, even if you don't think that you want it, or use the bathroom now, even if you don't think you need to, because, down the road, you're going to wish that you did. That feels like really pertinent advice for you guys. Okay? Take the time to be in your own energy. It is highly important. Especially, consider that there's this tree here. I feel like this is representing you guys with the earth energy, surrounded by water on this island. There's a lot of emotion around you. Careful not to take it on or in as yours. Okay, root and be in your own energy. You'll feel a lot better. You'll be able to go out and then also recognize what is and isn't yours. Okay? Capricorns, work it out. I love this reading. This was fun. This was your second half of September general reading. I so hope that this helped and resonated. If so, please let me know in the comments below. I love reading your comments most of all. And with that being said, just thank you. Thank you for being here. And as always, thank you for being you. And be well. Until next time.